What is up, everybody? How's it going? Hopefully, you guys are doing well. Today, I want to talk about why I am done and quitting the current and future gaming industry. I want to talk about why I am mad and discuss my frustrations with it all. I also want to talk about my opinions about why I am quitting and just done with it all. So, let's get into it. Last week, PlayStation announced in a news article that they are discontinuing all disc production of their games in 2028. I already made an initial video about this and discussed my initial opinions, so you can watch that. But today, I just want to talk about why I'm just done with the gaming industry in general. So I noticed that over the past 3 to 5 years, that many games have not included the full game on the disc. Many examples include Hogwarts Legacy, Crimson Valley, the new 007 game, even the new Assassin's Creed Black Flag Resynced, and many, many other games. This includes usually on the box, it'll say in the corner, Internet Required, and I do not like that. That is because it only contains part of the game on the disc, and you normally have to install an update or download the rest of the game on the disc. The way I like physical discs, and I have said this in every video, is I'm going to give Astrobot an example. This is a totally offline playable game. Let me elaborate on that. I can continue to play this game without internet on my PS5. I can continue to disconnect all internet from my PS5, continue to install this game and this disc on the PlayStation itself, and I can play the game start to finish without any internet whatsoever. That means no day one patches, and I can play this game perfectly. Now, there may be a couple glitches here and there, but it's still a game I can play start to finish. The same goes with Cyberpunk 2077. It may have a few bugs, glitches, and some crashes along the way, but it's still playable from start to finish on a PS5. Maybe even a PS4. We'll see. But my point is that when you have the game fully installed on the disc, you truly own the game. Because the thing is, if you have to install any other update or download the rest of the game on a disc, why are you buying the disc? Isn't it just digital at that point? The thing is, in 20 or 30 years, or who knows, if the servers go offline and it's no longer downloadable, do you truly own the game if you can't install the game and play it? You're basically renting just the license to download the update to play the game. And at that point, why do you even have a disc? Now, some may argue you can resell it online. Sure, that's a physical advantage, but the thing is, that's just a small point. The thing I personally care about physical video games myself is that I like to truly own the game. And I think that we've lost that in terms of time, in terms of video games, but also in terms of media, movies, TV shows, music. The thing is, we're all just renting it at this point to subscription services, and no one, or barely anyone, is buying physical. I have in the corner over there the whole entire Game of Thrones series, and I bought it on Prime Day a long time ago for $60. I think it was like 50 or $60, something like that. And the thing is, I'm no longer a slave to HBO, and I can watch that whenever I want and take my time watching it. Thing is, when I buy a physical disc and it doesn't contain a full game, the thing is, I don't like that because I can't play or download the game without having internet. The thing is, I like that. Now, many people think that internet is everywhere. But the thing is, what if I want to play it on the plane or go somewhere in Africa where there is no internet? Excuse me. The thing is, there's many people in the world that they don't have access to fast or even no internet, so the only option is physical discs. And I think that in many past generations, they did a great job doing that. Astrobot is a great example. You could play the game start to finish with no internet and have a great time. And I think every game should do that. And I think that every game should be playable with the disc. And so my future decisions in terms of whether I'm buying a game or not rests on three criteria and three criteria alone, and one cannot be missing without the other. A. It must have a complete and full story. B. There must be no major bugs, glitches, or crashes in the game. And I'm talking about like hard crashes. I don't mind if hair frolicking or there's some texture problems. That's fine. I expect that. Next, it must have no monetization. I expect no season passes, no loot boxes, no battle passes, no DLC, nothing. If I want a game just like that, and I think that the next game I'm going to buy in terms of PlayStation Studios is the new God of War game, the new Lofi game. And I think that it's going to be a great game. And I truly think that they're going to install that game offline on a disc. Santa Monica Studios does a great job doing that. Unlike Ubisoft, where they have a DRM requirement with the new Assassin's Creed game. But I think that's going to be the last game I ever buy, because I think they're all going that way, where you need to download the rest of the update and the rest of the game onto the disc to make it playable. A lot of these games, you have to download it, or else you just can't complete or even play the game. And I don't like that. I don't support that whatsoever, because you don't truly own the game. And that's why I'm just done with all that. If they continue doing this route and everything becomes digital, whether you buy disc or not, what's the point of actually having to do that, you know? Sorry, something was in my eyesight. But the point is that that's why I'm done with the current and future gaming industry, because they're just continuing to do this. PlayStation, I think, already confirmed that they're just going to continue with the digital route. No matter how much we complain on, that's fine. I just want my voices heard. I don't really care if it fails, but we ultimately need to fight this and just support no matter what. Because the idea of ownership is really important to me, and it should be important to everyone else, but unfortunately many people do not care in this world. They are just going to be slaves to the system and just continue to go with the flow because of convenience. And ultimately, at the end of the day, they're going to control whatever we do. And that's just really, really bad. And I think that we need to support the industry in the best way we can right now, or else there is going to be no industry at the end of the day. If they continue to go throughout this industry with digital only, I think it's going to be the downfall of consoles. And what I mean by that is Xbox is probably going to die first. They are losing tons and millions of dollars every single month about how much they're losing in terms of Game Pass, their sales in terms of consoles, sales in terms of video games. Basically, everything about them is failing. I think they're the first ones to go, especially if they're going to go digital only. Speaking of Xbox, I haven't bought a single Xbox game on PlayStation because there is no physical discs. And I would love to play the new Microsoft Simulator, Indiana Jones. I would love to play Forza. I would love to play Halo on my PlayStation. But the thing is, I'm very petty, and I want that to be in a physical disc. Since Xbox doesn't like physical discs, I won't be buying those games. So I think Xbox is going to be the first to go. And then it's going to be PlayStation. The thing with this is that with them counting and thinking that everyone's going digital, it's going to be the downfall of them. Because the thing is, they realize that in their statistics of what they think is digital, it's a lot of free-to-play games. You know what free-to-play games don't have? Physical discs. And I'm talking about games like Fortnite. I'm talking about things like Apex Legends. I am talking about any live service games that they never made a physical release. And they are counting the thousands or millions of digital downloads towards that and thinking, oh yeah, everyone's now digital. Of course it's digital, because they never released a physical disc. And I just find that funny. And so it's really, really interesting, because ultimately, at the end of the day, it's going to be a downfall in them, because without physical discs, their whole company is going to fail. And ultimately, if Xbox and PlayStation are down, basically the console market is done. And I'm talking about forever. Basically, they're going to be a shell, and it's just going to be an overpriced box with basically free games you could get anywhere else. And I think this is going to be a shift from a digital consoles into PC gaming. And I think a lot of people are going to be buying PC, and consoles are basically done for. Because why buy a console when you can play the same and better games on a PC and have those exclusives on PC, you know? And so that's why I think it's so frustrating, and why I think gaming is just done for, especially console gaming, because ultimately, if they rely on digital downloads, the whole market is just going to be done. Everything is just going to be flatlined, and basically the whole market will fail if they're only counting 15%, which is ridiculous because it's a lot higher, of physical game sales to be wiped out. And I think that trend is going to change the gaming industry forever. And if we're going to go all digital, I'm out. I'm going to continue supporting the old ways. I have lots of PS4, PS3 games, even some PS2 and Switch I could play for the next 20, 30 years. Even some games can last me for the next 10 to 20 years alone. A series like Mass Effect, Mafia, Yakuza, some games like that where I can just play through all the trilogies and just have a fun time, and it'll last me forever. Yakuza alone is probably going to last me for the next 15 years. I'm still stuck on Yakuza 0, and I'm like only 25% of the way through. And I need to play Yakuza Kiwami 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Basically, there's a whole lot of games I need to play in terms of the Yakuza series. And I think that in terms of a digital-only future, I'm basically just going to be done with it all. And if we continue to go down this route, I'm not supporting it. I don't want anyone else to support it. I think that in terms of my ways, in terms of the game industry I want, it's done. It's very rare. I mean, Astrobot was the last full-price video game I bought. And before that, it was God of War Ragnarok. Why? Because either a game doesn't really pique my interest, or it doesn't contain a full game on the disc. And I just don't think that's right. I just think that the entire gaming industry is going to fall, and I don't support it whatsoever. And I really wish people would make light to this and wake up, because ultimately at the end of the day, this is the direction they're going to go, and they're going to control everything. And if we go digital only, PlayStation and Xbox will have full monopoly and control of the prices. If you want to buy, I'm just going to give a random game, Monster Hunter Unite, basically, if there's no physical release of that game anymore, sorry, I got an email. If they have that game at full price in the store and no physical disc, they will continue to price that game at full price. And basically, you have no control of what the price is, and you're just a slave to it. And so you're going to end up paying more for the games you want, especially older games that should be going down in price. But nope, they're going to be able to control whatsoever of what's going to happen, because they'll have full digital control of what you have. And I've been saying this for years in terms of Game Pass. People are slave to Game Pass because it's the only thing right now on Xbox. If you want to play your games digitally, you have to sign up for Xbox Game Pass. And the thing is, yeah, it may be $60 a month this right now, but the next year it could go up to $80, and then it could go up to $100, and it could go up to $120, and by 2035, you're gonna, if they don't die by then, you could be paying $150 a month for Xbox Game Pass to play your games, and you don't really have a choice. And that's the thing people need to realize, is that digital is basically bad. Even though it's convenient, it's very bad because you don't have full control of the pricing or anything that you own in terms of the ecosystem. And I just think that we need to fully wake up and understand that digital only is bad. Physical, yeah, even though you start collecting discs and it could be a big burden, the thing is, for the games you truly want and want to own, you get to play them whenever you want. And you're not a slave to the system. especially if licenses get revoked and a lot of things start getting taken down. It's very bad. For example, Grand Theft Auto 3 on the PlayStation 2 or San Andreas. Take San Andreas, for example. Excuse me again. Basically, at the beginning of the game, there's a lot of good music that happens on the radio, and you get experience a lot of great tracks. But the thing is, over time, those licenses expire. The thing is, if you play the original version, you get to experience those soundtracks. But if you play any remaster or upgraded version beyond that, they're going to change the soundtracks, and you're not going to be able to listen to what they used to have, you know? And I think that if we go digital only, that's another bad thing, because companies can just change or remove games at their will. And I think this is really bad, and I don't support it. The thing is, if they change Astrobot in any way, I don't think they will, but if they can, that's really bad because that's really good because I can just play the 1.0 version of this. A really good example of why I love physical media is before God of War on the PlayStation 4, the 2018 version, I got a 60 FPS patch. You can actually play God of War the 1.0 build on 60 FPS on PS5 before it was ever released. And I think that was so cool. Yeah, there may be a few bugs, but the thing is, you get to play at 60 FPS on your PS4 or PS5. And I think that was so amazing. And that's a great advantage of having a physical disc and why it's better over digital. And if it continues to be like that in terms of digital only, well, yeah, I'm just done. And I know I said that a million times in this video, but the thing is, I truly mean it. And it's going to save me a lot of money because honestly, I'm just done, especially with how expensive game prices are, where it's like 70, 80 bucks now for video games, especially mediocre ones. Yeah, it's not worth it, especially like Assassin's Creed Shadows. Yeah, that was a mediocre game and it costs like 60, 70, maybe even 80 bucks depending on what version you buy. But the thing is, it was just way too expensive for what it had to offer. And I think that's really important to embrace physical, and why I just never bought that game, because it actually never installed a full game on a disc. And I just won't support the gaming industry because if they continue to do digital only, I'm done. I'm a huge physical game supporter, and I will not buy the video games that continue just to not have the full game on the disc. And so, basically, this is my whole rant. It's very important to buy physical discs. Very important, and to continue supporting it and encouraging it. Because if we don't have a full game on the disc, and I'm not talking about physical discs and them just including partial game. I'm talking about a full game on the disc. And I think many people are confused by that. And either way, if we still have physical discs but doesn't have the full game, what's the point? The only upside of that is that you get to resell it. So that's my rant and why I'm so mad about it. Because basically, if every single game becomes like this, and I'm just not supporting it. The only future game I intend on buying is the new Lo-Fi game. I know I probably pronounced that wrongly, but whatever. But yeah, any other game after that, I'm probably not even doing. So that's out of my hands. If you think I'm just overreacting and still think I should buy video games, let me know. Let me know what games you guys are playing and having fun with. But this is my rant about why I'm just done with it all and why I just won't continue supporting the current and future gaming industry, because I just think it's done. I just think it's going down, and I think that it's just going to be extinct. So that's my whole rant about it. Hopefully you guys enjoyed just listening to some of it, and with lots of love and respect to you guys, I'll see you guys later, and peace out and bye.